Welcome to another production of ParkTV 16 Sports. Tonight, we are privileged to be on location at Dakota Park in St. Louis Park, bringing you Metro West Conference baseball featuring the Chaska Hawks and the St. Louis Park Orioles, two Metro West rivals, coming in with nearly identical records on a beautiful night, May 4th, 65 degrees, light winds. Maybe the best night of the year. And look at that view of the water tower here at St. Louis Park, and it gives you an idea of how beautiful it is. Those tree branches are hardly moving, and it's just beautiful. We've suffered through a long, hard spring. It hasn't even been spring. It's been winter until just like yesterday. But tonight, we are at Dakota Park, and Chaska is in town, and it's a very special night as we look at the lineups for Chaska, and next will come St. Louis Park. But after that, there's going to be a very special occasion. Tonight is ALS night, Lou Gehrig's disease night, to raise awareness and money for their organization. And St. Louis Park, his baseball team is hosting that event and publicizing it. And tonight there'll be three special women throwing out a first pitch that have all been impacted by ALS, either themselves personally or someone they love and care about. So stay tuned for that as we now await the lineups for St. Louis Park. And they come in with a 6-2 record, just behind Benilde St. Margaret's. Okay, that's number 0. Starting off for St. Louis Park, that's Stanley Ruganuti. He'll be playing center field. Ben Farley followed him. That's Christopher Hokinson, number 15. Batting third at first base. Zach Helfman, catcher, number 16. Batting fourth, the cleanup. Graham Sullivan, number 25. Batting fifth in right field. Batting sixth for the Orioles, Brady Walsh. Third base, number 5. Batting seventh, number 1, Henry Odoms. He's at second base. Batting eighth, number 11, Jacob Favor, left field. And batting ninth, Thomas Moot, the DH. And pitching, here he is, coming out the senior, Stefano Giovanelli. Best name in high school sports. So I am looking forward to this matchup. Chaska, I grew up right across the river in Shakopee. I played high school baseball back in the day, graduating in 1983. And Chaska has a very strong baseball tradition. Beautiful field they play in down along the river, and so did Shakopee, 5 miles apart, big rivalry. I expect this to be a well-played game by both teams. And now, here come the ALS representatives for tonight.
Who lost her dear husband to ALS in May 2020. Ladies, get ready to throw the first pitch.
So that is Howard, the PA announcer, and what he was talking about is that there are 3 women that are going to throw out the first pitch. Leo Giovanelli, who is obviously Stefano, the starting pitcher's mother, was diagnosed in July of 2020, so she is fighting it right now. And then also Michelle Bianco, who drove from Fargo, North Dakota, was diagnosed in November of 2021. And then the third woman that's here is Lori Larson-Heller, and a nice round, heartfelt round of applause here. And there's the throws right there by all 3 of those women. The last one was Lori Larson-Heller, who lost her dear husband to the disease in May of 2021. Just a well-done ceremony. Ton of people. They have grills in the background. Lots of smiles. All right, we'll go to break, and when you come back, we'll begin with the top of the first for St. Louis Park and Chaska.
And now, please rise.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie. Nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Greg, come on man, let's put a ride home.
To ParkTV 16. Welcome back to ParkTV 16 Sports. We are broadcasting live on YouTube from Derek Keller Field in beautiful St. Louis Park as we look at that beautiful bike bridge that connects the metro area and one of the best bike route cities in America. And right next to that is where we are right here as we look at Stefano Giovanelli, the starting pitcher for Benilde St. Margaret's. And they are going to face one of their arch rivals in the Metro West Conference, the Chaska Hawks, as they come in with a 6-2 record, taking on St. Louis Park with a 5-2 record. And there is the starting lineup for the Orioles, or excuse me, for the Hawks. That's Carver Miller, left field, Nolan Kemp and Dwayne McNaughton to lead it off. But more importantly for the Orioles, it was sort of an impactful moment just before, if you hadn't joined us earlier, just a moment ago. Tonight is ALS night for St. Louis Park Oriole baseball. And they honored 3 women who have been impacted by ALS, and one of them happens to be that guy's right there mother. His mother was diagnosed with ALS just a year or 2 ago, and so she is fighting the big battle, and her son is on the mound, the left-hander. And there we look at the outfielders for St. Louis Park, Stefano Giovanelli, and I'll keep saying it because I mean it. I love that name. He'll be on the mound, the left-hander. Zach Helfman behind home plate. Hokinson, Odens, Farley, and Walsh in the infield, and in the outfield, Faber, another Italian, Reganuti, and Graham Sullivan rounds it out. Okay, we're about to begin. And Reginci, okay, excuse me, I may have mispronounced that. Thank you, Paul, the producer. All right, now to step in to lead it off for the Chaska Hawks, Carver Miller, the left fielder, number 4, lefty against lefty. I'm Robert Christensen. You're watching ParkTV 16 Sports. We're live at Derek Keller Field. Glad you're with us. First pitch. And strike call right at the letters. So these umpires were here for this ceremony. You gotta wonder if it's gonna give the pitcher for St. Louis Park a little better strike zone, as the count now 1-1 to Carver Miller. Just underway here, and a nice curveball. Took a little something off that pitch. Got Miller reaching for it, and now quickly Giovanelli ahead in the count, 1-2. The pitch on away, another curveball, and gets him swinging around the horn. So a good start for the pitcher, Stefano Giovanelli. Strikes out Miller. Next up, number 18, the right fielder, Nolan Kemp. 1 out, top of the first. Giovanelli from the windup. Pitch on away. Inside, ball's the call. 1-0 the count to number 18, Nolan Kemp. And there we have 4 cameras here. That ball outside as Kemp lays off it. So 0-2 the count. Gorgeous night. Hardly any wind. 65 degrees. Couldn't be better. Strike call as Giovanelli grooves in a curveball. 2-1 the count. Pitch on away, this time inside. We don't have a speed gun, so no intel on the relative speeds of the pitchers we'll see tonight, and that pitch was a fastball. All those other ones were off speed. Ground ball to the third baseman, and easily up with it and over for the Orioles. Number 3.
Number 9, Dane McNaughton.
That is Christopher Hoke. No, excuse me. Number 3 is Ben Farley. Excuse me. At shortstop made that throw. So 2 outs for the Orioles. Pitch on away to the right-hander, number 9. That is Dwayne McNaughton, the DH for the Hawks. First pitch, a strike, 2 outs, so great start here for Stefano Giovanelli as he looks at number 9. Dwayne McNaughton hit right to the second baseman, up with it and over onto first for the putout. Nice play by the Orioles as they go 1, 2, 3 in the top of the first.
No hits, no errors.
No hits, no errors, and after 1 half inning of play, St. Louis Park will come up the bat in the bottom of the first. And we are expecting Stanley, how do you pronounce that, Paul? Reginti? Okay, got it. So the Stanley Reginti to lead off, the center fielder. He'll be followed by Ben Farley, the shortstop, at the number 2 position. Batting third, the first baseman, Christopher Hokanson, and then if one of those guys get on, the cleanup hitter is Zach Helfman. On the mound for the Hawks is number 2. Let's see if I got a name for him. I'm sorry, who is that again, Paul? Oh, Foss, okay. Hold on a second. All right, Maddox Foss. There's the lineups for Chaska. Foss on the mound. Nick Ekstrom behind the plate. Then in the infield, starting at first, second, third, and shortstop. Benson, Hansen, Magnuson at third, Bushy at short. In the outfield, Miller, who is the leadoff hitter, Hansen, and Kemp. And that is Maddox Foss taking his warm-up pictures. He's a right-hander, obviously. It'll be interesting to see if he starts from the stretch or the windup. Traditionally, you go from the windup with no one on base, but sometimes high school pitchers are just more comfortable going from the stretch. All right, now stepping in for the Orioles, number 0, Stanley Reginti, righty against righty to lead off the bottom of the first for the Orioles. Pitch on away, curveball in the dirt and out of play or just behind the backstop. So ball 1, the count to Stanley Reginti as we look at Maddox Foss. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch on away, and that's a high curveball. So Foss having a difficult time finding the strike zone. 2-0 now to Stanley Reginti. Pitch on away and hit on right to the shortstop, who unfortunately mishandles it. That was number 20, Henry Bushy. So that's going to be an error on the shortstop, E6, and reaching first base, Stanley Reginti. Now up to bat, number 3, Ben Farley. As we look at the replay, and he kind of tried to turn his glove, and not a real good fundamental way to handle a ground ball. So there could be a little bit of a weakness on the defensive end. Your shortstop should be your best infielder, and that infield play lacked a lot of basic mechanics on how to field a ball. We'll see if he performs better here as the game goes on, but that bodes well for the Orioles as the count now 1-1 to Ben Farley, the shortstop. Reginti on first on the E6. Pitch on away, and it was a hit and run. Ball hit to the left field and in play, but foul. So that'll be strike number 2 to Ben Farley. It's a good look at Farley, looking at the third base coach, getting the sign. Last time it looked like the hit and run was on as Reginti was running on the pitch. Let's see if he does it again. And he is going on the pitch, and that ball all over it was Farley, way in front. Count remains 1-2, nobody out, runner on first still. So if I'm coaching Ben Farley, just got to lay off of it and wait on it just a little bit more. He was way out in front, and that bodes well for the Orioles. They're seeing the ball very well now. The pickoff attempt as Maddox Foss, the pitcher, on his last 2 pitches, McGinty was running on the pitch, and I expect him to do it again. I saw this time he isn't. With 2 strikes, they decided not to do the hit and run. McGinty was staying put at first, and it was fouled back again by Farley. Count remains still 1-2. Righty versus lefty, 1-2 count. 1 on, nobody out, bottom of the first. Going on the pitch, and there's the hit, and it's in the hole between second and first, and a base hit, and that's gonna send McGinty all the way to third as he was running on that play. So the hit and run executed perfectly by Farley and McGinty. And that's gonna bring up Christopher Hawkinson, the first baseman with nobody out, runners at the corners. Excellent start for the Orioles. 1, 2, 3 in the top of the first. 2 on, nobody out. Their number 3 hitter stands in there. The left-hander, Christopher Hawkinson, looks at pitch number 1, and he does drop that breaking pitch in there for strike number 1. Nice pitch by Maddox Foss as he's gonna find some traction here as he finds himself in a jam. Keep an eye on Farley at first. Will he take second base? And they do check over there. So obviously the Hawks and Foss are concerned about the steal. Mind you, though, if they throw down to second, that's going to give an opportunity for McGinty to steal. So we'll see if they take advantage of that. But so far, Farley staying close to first, which isn't a bad strategy. You got your number 3 hitter. This is your power in the lineup. You don't need to be messing around with stealing bases, especially this early in the game. Hit away. All right, the 1-1 delivery, and now the steal, as I was discussing, and they're gonna get him. Pitch was there, I was in time, and what a throw by the catcher for Chaska as he throws out Farley, and what a turn of events that is. There goes Farley. We were talking about it, and he did take his chance, but the throw was there. And I think that's a good call. Excellent throw by the catcher for Chaska. 1 out now in the top of the first. Runner still on third, so an excellent opportunity for the Orioles to get the first run. And now stepping into bat, looking at his first pitch, or excuse me, 3-1 count remains to Hawkinson, and he swung on that one, and that's gonna be a full count. So 1 out, number 3 hitter still at the plate. Now it's a 3-2 count. McGinty at third. Good drama here in the first, and he goes high with the curveball. He had some movement on that, and Hawkinson swings at it at eye level, and he strikes out. So what a comeback for Maddox Foss and the Hawks here. Just a moment ago, it was runners at the corner with nobody out, and then with a throw out on the steal attempt and a strikeout, Foss is looking to get out of this inning unscathed, and now he delivers strike 1 to Zach Helfman, the tall catcher. Right-hander, down 1 strike on the count, and he swings at that ball, bounces foul to the left side. Now quickly, 0-2 count to the cleanup hitter, Zach Helfman. And it would be an amazing feat if the Hawks get out of this without giving up any runs. Swung on, fouled straight back high and out of play to the back, to the right. So Helfman hanging in there. He's gonna be protecting that plate. And given his length, he's got a big strike zone there. Big, tall kid. Pitch on away. Swung on, fouled to the left side, out of play. Count remains 0-2. Good drama here early in the first inning. This game comes down to the wire. They're gonna look back at this scoring opportunity. They can't get McGinty in from third, just 90 feet away, and that ball now high as the pitcher Foss wastes one there. Smart pitch, he had an 0-2 count. Now 1-2. Obviously a guessing game for the hitter. Swung on, and he does get it by the third baseman and down the line for a base hit and a key RBI for the number 4 hitter, Zach Helfman, with 2 strikes on him. What a clutch hit by Helfman. Puts the Orioles up 1-0. Pitch on away. Here is the replay, and just along the line. And I'm surprised the third baseman was not guarding the line. You want to guard against that, especially in situations like this. And now there is a pinch runner for Helfman. Get you his name, number 7, that's Tate Myers. So with 2 outs, stepping in to bat is number 25, Graham Sullivan, the right fielder, with 2 outs, trying to make it hurt some more as he swings at that first pitch for strike 1. 2 outs now, bottom of the first, runner on, 1 across already, 1-0 our score. And the pitch on away, fouled back to the right and out of play by the number 5 hitter, Graham Sullivan. Umpire cleans the plate off there. Now the 0-2 delivery from Maddox Foss from the stretch. Runner on first, pitch on away, curveball, strike 3 call, gets him looking. But not before 1 run gets across for the Orioles from Stanley Reginti, their leadoff hitter, finds his way around. And after 1 full inning of play, there's our score. St. Louis Park 1, Chaska 0, and they'll be coming up with their 4th, 5th, and 6th hitters. And those gentlemen's names are as follows. Drew Benson, number 7, the first baseman, will lead off the top of the 2nd for the Chaska Hawks. He'll be followed by the pitcher, Maddox Foss. So a chance for him to get it back on his own, and then that'll be followed by the number 6 hitter, the shortstop, Henry Boucher. So Benson, Foss, and Boucher for the Hawks, and back on the mound is the pitcher, Stefano Giovanelli, who is not batting tonight. I remember doing a game last year, he was the center fielder, which is I think where he'll play when he's not pitching, but the left-hander off to a great start here. And now he's got a 1-0 cushion to work with. Next batter up for Chaska will be a righty, so a lefty versus a righty. Chaska looking to answer the 1 run they gave up in the bottom of the first. All right. Giovanelli done with his warm-up pitches. There he is. And look at the gorgeous night. Look at that beautiful bike ramp. That is quite the structure. Connecting St. Louis Park, at least the east side, to the bike trails throughout the metro area. Okay, stepping in another very tall kid, number 7 for Chaska, Drew Benson. Takes strike 1. So Giovanelli wasting no time, going right at that strike zone. And wasting no time in between pitches. That pitch low and inside, swung on, fouled to the left. So quickly 0-2. So Giovanelli works at a very, very quick pace. That's good for the outfielders too. If they take a long time, they can start to lose their focus. And that's swung on, fouled off to the right. So 3 strikes in a row. 0-2 the count now. Giovanelli working very efficiently from the mound. His mother in attendance, watching, and that pitch outside. So 1-2 the count. Benson looks in, trying to avoid a strikeout here. The delivery swung on, fastball right down the middle of the plate at knee level. Fouled back again. So hanging tough is number 7, Drew Benson. Pitch on away, curveball right to the shortstop. Easily picked up, hop, shot over, 1 out for the Orioles. Ben Farley easily scoops that up. Beautiful looking play by their shortstop. 1 out for Giovanelli and the Orioles in the top of the first, and that's gonna bring up Maddox Foss. He's the pitcher for Chaska. There's the replay. Very smooth there at shortstop, Ben Farley. And the first pitch, a high curveball. I'm always intrigued by when the pitchers pitch against each other. Giovanelli's not in the batting lineup, at least not yet. And now he throws 2 balls very high at forehead level, high and outside. So now 2 balls, 0 strikes. And the first time that Giovanelli's been behind in the count since the beginning of the game. Now he tries to deliver one outside, now 3-0. So Maddox Foss, you just wonder whether there's some sort of psychological implications, pitcher against pitcher. Okay, lefty to righty, pitch on away, and there's a strike call, as Foss was taking all the way on that, as he should with a 3-0 count. Now 3-1. Let's see if Giovanelli can salvage this, and a curveball drops that in for a strike. He might be showing off, and I mean that with all the positive connotations of that. Let's go, 3-2 count, pitch on away, swung on, right back to Farley. Easy pickup, the hop and the pitch over to the first baseman in time for out number 2, and that retires Maddox Foss for out number 2 in the second. So far 2 sharply hit ground balls to Farley as that one, and look at the smoothness of him. And I love how he kind of pops the ball up, does the little skip, and then he's got some velocity on that throw over to first. Easy play, 2 outs now, bottom of the second. Standing in the bat is number 20, that's Henry Bouchy, swings at the first pitch. Strike call, so 0-1 the count. Giovanelli back in front early on in the count. The number 6 hitter, Henry Bouchy. He's the shortstop. His error led to run number 1 for the Orioles in the first that allowed Reginti to get around to third base and eventually score. Now the pitch on away, curveball, that's hit deep to center. That might have a chance up against the wall and bringing it in easily. But boy, that ball was hit a ton. And had there been a little bit of wind behind him, that might have gone out. But nice catch by the center fielder. Stanley Reginti draws it in right at the warning track against the fence to record out number 3 in the bottom of the second, or the top of the second. Our score after 1.5 on ParkTV 16 Sports, 1-0 Orioles. They'll be coming up to bat. And expected up for the Orioles as we look at the family, and they have really a nice atmosphere over to the right side of the bleachers behind the dugout, which is on the first base side. They've got grills, looks like some silent auctions. They're selling some t-shirts and sweatshirts to support Oriole baseball. And look at that great atmosphere, just people enjoying themselves, getting out of the house after a 2-year pandemic and a very long winter here in Minnesota, the longest I can remember in a long time. Heck, just what, 4 days ago, it was 35 degrees and raining, and now it's 65. Starting to green up, and we got baseball outside here in St. Louis Park as we look at Maddox Foss as he'll take the mound. At the bottom of the second, he gave up 1 run in the first, and now standing in the bat for the Orioles, number 8, the number 6 hitter, the third baseman, Brady Walsh. The right-hander takes the first pitch, ball 1 just outside. 1-0 the count as we watch one of the assistant coaches, or maybe the head coach, I'm not sure who they are, but he's the third base coach for the Orioles, gets in place, and that pitch low, ball 2. So a tighter strike zone here for Maddox Foss as he goes from the windup. 2-0 the count, and now 3-0 as that ball was definitely high. Maddox there, number 2 to the number 8, Brady Walsh. That one, as Walsh was taking all the way. All right, hitter's pitch, 3-1 the count. Bottom of the second, nobody out, and he drops that curveball in. Good call, too. I'm just off into the left shoulder of home plate. Got a great angle for my own opinion, although not as good as the umpire, and that ball is hit on, and that's fielded much better by the shortstop for Chaska, Henry Bouchy. He struggled on the first one, but looking much better on that ground ball, which is what you'd expect from any of these infielders at this level. as he makes the put out on Brady Walsh. So 1 out here in the top of the first. Our score 1-0 remains. And stepping in the bat for the first time is the left-hander, the second baseman, Henry Odoms, number 7. And that pitch, fastball high and outside, ball 1. So unlike Giovanelli, Maddox Foss getting behind the count most of the time, and boy, he brings the heat there. That might have been the first time I've seen him throw it that hard. So Foss definitely has some juice on his fastballs. He gets strike 1, 1-1 count, and there's another one. He brought it right back. And I could see Odins look to the heavens on that one. I don't think he could see it. This is some heat now I'm starting to see from Maddox Foss. And he brings another one, and this time, timing it just right, almost was Odin. So he saw that pitch the third time and almost got it down along that left field line in left field. So he'll come back. So now we have a battle here. Henry Odins. Could be a perfect time for Maddox Foss to bring in the curveball. Yes, he does. He does the curveball, but misses outside, and Odins was waiting for it. So much is this a mental game and guessing. I guessed he was going to throw a curveball there. Now it's anyone's guess. Let's see what he does. Comes in with the high inside fastball, and unable to catch the foul ball was the catcher. Number 20 for the Hawks with a valiant effort. Or excuse me, number 14, Nick Ekstrom. He makes a great effort here and just took his eye off of it. I can tell you from playing baseball in high school, those kinds of plays, you just got to put your eyes on the eyeball and not worry about anything else, and your hands will just go right to that ball. So a missed opportunity for the Hawks, and now the curveball swung on, and that's going to be down for a base hit, and what a great at-bat for Henry Odins, the second baseman. You'll recall he was down. No balls, 2 strikes, as Maddox Foss was bringing the heat, and then he caught up with it. And this time he gets it just in there. A little 9-iron, I would say, huh? From about 100 yards out. Drops it in beautifully for a base hit. And now the Orioles, with 1 out, have a runner on first, and stepping up to bat, number 11, Jacob Faber, the left fielder, with a chance to add to their lead here. And now Maddox Foss in the dirt. And you wonder if that last at-bat didn't shake him. He looked so confident there for a couple of those fastballs. But I can't be more impressed with Henry Odins at bat there. Now he's on first. Could be a stealing threat. And that ball hit right back up the middle. And now the double play opportunity. The throw off the mark, but he gets the tag, and well done. As now suddenly the Hawks get out of the inning with that great double play ball as the shortstop for the Hawks makes up for it again. Henry Bouchy tags second on his own and over to first base. The throw was very much off the mark, but it was in time to allow the first baseman to tag the runner for the double play. So the Orioles threaten with 1 base runner on a great at-bat, but do not score. And after 2 complete, our score 1-0 here from Derek Keller Field in St. Louis Park. And Giovanelli will take the mound once again as we look at a couple of bikers. And this is what I'm talking about, how bike trails and baseball parks build communities. Love this St. Louis Park community, especially the neighborhoods around the field here. As I was driving in, just so well kept, just gorgeous, gorgeous neighborhood. What a great place to live here in St. Louis Park. So glad and privileged to be here bringing you these broadcasts for ParkTV 16 Sports, especially on beautiful nights like this. Good crowd on hand, just a great American atmosphere. Couldn't be better as Giovanelli completes his warm-up tosses. So far, he's been pretty perfect here. He hasn't given up any hits. And we'll be going to the top of the third for the Hawks. They play 7. And on nights like tonight, they can play more as far as I'm concerned. Okay, now stepping up to bat for the Hawks in the top of the third on ParkTV 16 Sports is number 5 for Chaska. His name is Matthew Magnuson. He's the third baseman, the number 7. So 7, 8, 9 to face Giovanelli in the top of the third. And he puts that curveball in for strike one right away. So again, ahead of the count. Giovanelli wasting no time. And now a swing and a miss on that curveball. So 2 breaking balls by Giovanelli. Gets him ahead of the count. And that pitch, fastball to the outside of the plate, swung on over to the third baseman, and a beautiful play by Brady Walsh there at third. Orioles look really good in the outfield, folks. They look like a well-oiled baseball team. Nice Sunday hop there to Brady Walsh. Gets it over to the first baseman, Hokinson. Out number 1 in the top of the third. Easy game here for Stefano Giovanelli and the Orioles. 1 out. Now stepping into bat, the number 8 hitter. Number 13. Well, let's see. Who is number 13? Little mix up in my program here. It should be number 14, Nick Ekstrom, the catcher. And it still might be, so we'll see if that's a misprint in my program. But right now, I'm going to call him Nick Ekstrom because I don't see another name for number 13 for Chaska in my materials. So meanwhile, Giovanelli gets out in front of number 13, Nick Ekstrom, who could be number 14, Nick Ekstrom, the catcher. 2 strikes the count, no balls, and he strikes him out looking. Giovanelli is just pitching a masterful game here. You know, he reminds me of another Italian who was a great Twins pitcher, Frankie Viola, the New Yorker, who won 2 games in the 1987 World Series for the Twins. Or was it 91? I can't remember. I think he was the MVP as well. So that pitch was swung on, and that should be a strike 1. I look at the scoreboard, and it's 0-0. So maybe they called a no pitch. So no, the count. And there's a strike call to number 22, Thomas Hansen. He's the number 9 hitter and the center fielder. Unusual to see the center fielder that low in the lineup. They tend to be the best, and that was a strike on that first pitch, then a second and a third, and Giovanelli strikes out the third hitter. So far, 9 up and 9 down, and we're through 2.5 innings, and the Orioles will be coming up in the bottom of the third, clinging to a 1-0 lead on 3 hits. And so far, but there is 1 error, which did lead to their 1 run. So I would have to say that's probably an unearned run, but they do lead 1-0. As we go to the bottom of the third, and taking the mound once again is Maddox Foss, number 2. As we get to look at some more of the townsfolk here enjoying the game. Great production here at Derek Keller Field. We got Howard, the PA announcer. And you know, that'll bring up for me an article I read about a past former St. Louis Park coach, a guy by the name of Dan McGuiran. So I got this from the Star Tribune just last week. And he taught and coached at St. Louis Park High School for 28 years, died on April 14th in Perham, Minnesota. He was only 67, good grief. After graduating from St. Louis Park, McKieran attended Golden Valley Lutheran College and the University of Minnesota. He was a member of the Gophers baseball team, and he was given a Lifetime Achievement Award by the St. Louis Park Athletic Hall of Fame last year. So, a former coach passed away, 28 years in the district. So, Godspeed to Dan McKieran. Okay, top of the first pitch on the way from Maddox Foss to number 2, the number 9 hitter, Thomas Moot, the DH, in the bottom half of the third for the Orioles as he looks at ball 1. So 1-1 the count to Thomas Moot, the DH, the lefty to the righty. Trying to get something going here in the bottom of the third. Both teams come in with nearly identical records, 6-2 versus 5-2 for St. Louis Park. So a big game here to see who's going to threaten Benilde St. Margaret's, who's 5-0 atop the Metro West division standings. So 2-1 the count, or 2-1 the count to number 2, Thomas Moot. Maddox Foss from the windup, the pitch on away. Strike call, the curveball strikes him out. So Maddox Foss, after giving up that one run, which may have really not been his fault because of the air in the first, which led to that run, has been settled down here and gets that first strikeout in the bottom of the third. Now the top of the lineup brings up Stanley Reginti. Or excuse me, that's number 0. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, that is Reginti, the center fielder, as he looks at ball 1. And he looks at ball 2 both times. Maddox Foss working that inside of the plate. Reginti looks at ball 3. So obviously Maddox Foss being very careful against the number 1 hitter here with 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Next up, Ben Farley, the shortstop. If he reaches, then Christopher Hokanson. Strike call now, 3-1 the count, as Reginti was taking all the way with the 3-0 count. Now the 3-1 delivery. In the dirt and against the backstop, and Reginti won't try to take second. I will note that this backstop is quite close behind home plate, so any pass ball is unlikely to lead to any base runner taking an extra base. And you can kind of see with that camera angle right there how close it is. It's literally just less than 10 yards. So any pass ball is going to be recovered quickly by the catcher. But 1 on here with 1 out. And Reginti, that's his 2nd time on base. Last time he was able to make his way around. He reached on an air, then ended up scoring in the bottom of the first. Now reaching again here in the bottom of the third. Pitch, strike call. To number 3, the shortstop for the Orioles, Farley. And the pickoff move to the first baseman is not in time. Clearly the Hawks are concerned about Reginti stealing. He's a heck of an athlete, that's obvious. Doesn't look like he's stealing. That ball now low. Although he got a little far off first base, that caused the catcher to fake a throw down to first base after that pitch, but our count now 1-1 with 1 out. And there's the lead that Reginti's taking. Now from our center field camera, from the stretch, Maddox Foss, curveball. Ooh, that was close. Just missed, low and outside for ball number 2. Farley looks to the third base coach for the sign. Foss checks the base runner, Reginti. The delivery swung on, and that's going to be in the short left field. Coming up to make the put out for the Hawks is the left fielder, Carver Miller. Easily makes out number 2. Reginti stays at first, and Farley records out number 2 on that soft fly ball to left field, and that's going to bring up the number 3 hitter for St. Louis Park, Hokanson. The lefty to the righty with 2 outs, a runner on first. Curveball outside, misses the mark, ball 1 from Foss. From the stretch, curveball swung on right at the center fielder. Will it get over his head? And it does, against the wall. That should score Reginti. It's going to be a double for sure. Reginti gets waved home. And what a hit by Hawkinson as he takes a knee to celebrate with a stand-up double as he burns the center fielder with a well-hit ball. And that was a frozen rope here, folks. Watch that swing as he gets into it, and it goes deep. The center fielder just couldn't get back in time as he was cheating up there. Goes off the fence in center field. And now the Orioles are up 2-0 with 2 outs, and another 2-out run. That always hurts the defense to give it up with 2 outs, and that's going to bring up the cleanup hitter with 2 outs, and now another runner in scoring position as he swings at that curveball for strike 1. Zach Helfman, the number 4 hitter with the 0-1 count. Now he swings at that ball in the dirt. It's against the backstop, and this time, despite what I was postulating earlier, Reginti does take the extra base on the pass ball, and there he is at third base again by hook or by crook. And now a chance, even more so for the Orioles, to add one here in the bottom of the second with 2 outs with an 0-2 count, and that's back in the dirt. Reginti checks his self at third base. So a runner on third, 2 outs, 1 across here in the bottom of the third. Our score 2-0 on 4 hits and 1 error. 1-2 the count to Zach Helfman. Swung on and missed, and Foss gets out of the jam in the bottom of the third, but not before the Orioles draw blood once again with their second run. And after 3 full innings of play from Derek Keller Field in St. Louis Park on ParkTV 16 Sports, our score 2-0 as we go to the top of the 4th, and I expect to see the pitcher Giovanelli coming back out to take the mound. So far, he's been perfect. And that is a great looking scorecard if you're a St. Louis Park Orioles fan. 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 runs total on 4 hits. 1 run was earned, 1 was unearned, in my opinion. And now Giovanelli comes out there, and just look at the hugs out there. Great community, good spirit here. There's Howard, the guy in the orange shirt. He's the PA announcer, famous Howard. You can hear his voice at other high school events for St. Louis Park. Spring is finally here on May 4th. We can only hope, and there is Stefano Giovanelli. He should trademark that name, for crying out loud, I feel. So good to say. All right, Stefano Giovanelli done with his warm-up tosses and expected up for the Hawks here in their half of the 4th inning is going to be the top of the order. So that's Carver Miller, the left fielder, to lead it off here in the top of the 4th. Nolan Kemp, followed by Dane McNaughton. So far, 3 up in each inning and 3 down, and Giovanelli to take him on here in the top of the 4th. Sun shining down from the west. Perfect atmosphere. All right, lefty to lefty, swung on right back up the middle, and coming over to get it is Harvey, and the quick fire over to first base records out number 1 in the top of the 4th. And I am really impressed with Ben Farley, the shortstop. That's his 3rd put out of the night, and he has been stellar at shortstop. And there's that quick hop, and boy, does he got a gun of an arm to get that ball over there, just beating number 4, Carver Miller. And now the pitch quickly from Giovanelli, as stepping in to bat is the number 2 hitter, number 18, the right fielder. As he looks at ball number 1 that was in the dirt, this time lefty to righty. Giovanelli from the windup. Pitch on away, and he drops that curveball in there for a strike right at the knees. Brilliant pitch to even the count at 1 apiece. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Fastball just misses on the outside. You got the feeling the home plate umpire was thinking about it, but he gave it the ball. So 2-1 delivery, and the curveball gets him swinging for strike number 2. And Giovanelli is just cruising out there on the mound. 2-2 delivery, curveball, chopped right back to Giovanelli, the comebacker, and quickly over to the first baseman. Hokinson records out number 2, 1-3 if you're scoring at home. Records out number 2, and that will bring up the number 3 hitter. This will be his 2nd time seeing Giovanelli, number 9, the DH, Dane McNaughton. If you're just joining us, you're seeing a masterful performance here by Giovanelli, wow, as he brings the heat on the inside part of the plate. Fastball strike. 0-1 the count to the number 3 hitter. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. That ball curve in the dirt. Trying to get Dane McNaughton to chase it. Naughton looking for time quickly. Now he steps in. The pitch on away, the windup just misses low. Not by much though. 2-1 the count now with 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the 4th. Pitch on away, right at eye level. And there's Ben Farley. Had to back up to field that one, but he came right back up and gets it over to first baseman in quick order for out number 3. So another 1, 2, 3 inning for the Orioles. And Giovanelli, and after 3.5, our score from Derek Keller Field on ParkTV 16 Sports, 2-0. And St. Louis Park back up to bat here in the bottom of the 4th. Glad you're with us here on ParkTV 16 Sports. So those 4 gentlemen up there on the bike trail. And if you ever come here to Derek Keller Field, and I've already spoken about it, that is quite the structure. You can bike here from your house in the east side of St. Louis Park, come through this beautiful park with other softball fields and an elementary school. You get on the trail and you could be in Stillwater in an hour and a half on the bike, or you could be in Wayzata or Chaska, all by a bike right from here in Derek Keller Field. Who knew? All right, a look out on the mound, and it looks like they're gonna bring out their starting pitcher, Maddox Foss, in the bottom of the 4th, and expected up for the Orioles in their half of the 4th. The number 5, 6, and 7 hitters leading off in the bottom of the 4th. Graham Sullivan, number 25, the right fielder. He'll be followed by the number 6 hitter, Brady Walsh, the third baseman, and then Henry Odens, who had a brilliant at-bat last time up, fighting off the 0-2 count to get a base hit. All right, now stepping in the right-handed hitter, Graham Sullivan, the right fielder, to face Maddox Foss in the bottom of the 4th. Swung on and missed. The curveball gets him for strike number 1. 0-1 the count to Graham Sullivan. Pitch on away, another curveball, this time inside and low for ball number 1. 1-1 the count. Outfield for the Hawks playing fairly straight away for the right-handed hitter, and that pitch, the fastball, gets away from Maddox Foss high. So 2-1 the count. From the windup, Maddox Foss, the delivery swung on, and that ball's hit well, but right to the center fielder. You hardly had to move. Nice catch there by Thomas Hansen, number 22, to record out number 1. So well hit, but right at Hansen. So the first put out recorded by Graham Sullivan. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. That brings up Brady Walsh with nobody on, the third baseman. Right-hander against right-hander. Hardly any wind here at Derek Keller Field. I look out, there's the American flag in left center. Hardly moving at all. Just a beautiful night to be outside doing anything, especially playing baseball or watching baseball. Glad we're bringing it to you here on ParkTV 16 Sports. Our count 1-1, and a check swing, and they said he went around for strike number 2. So 1-2 the count to Brady Walsh. Maddox Foss working very efficiently. I can't say he's pitched very poorly. He's only given up 2 runs here. With that ball in the dirt, trying to get him to chase it. Evens the count at 2-2 to Brady Walsh. The tall third baseman asking for time. Good look at Foss. Curveball right back to Foss. Couldn't come up with it, but the shortstop is there to back him up, and he gets it over to first base. So nice play by the shortstop, Henry Bushy. So after he recorded that first error, which led to that first run, he's been perfect there at shortstop, and he plays this very well, especially after it got tipped by Maddox Foss, the pitcher. He was able to adjust and get it over there for out number 2 in the bottom of the 4th. But this is when the Orioles have been most dangerous. All their runs have come with 2 outs. But in the other 2 innings, they've had a runner on when they got to 2 outs. This time, nobody on. And stepping in the bat is Henry Odens. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the inning, he had a great first at-bat fighting off, and now he swings on that pitch, and it's to center field, but it's medium center, and easily back there to retrieve that fly ball was Thomas Hansen. So after giving up 2 runs in the first 3 innings, Maddox Foss and the Hawks are able to get the Orioles 1-2-3 for the first time in the bottom of the 4th. So after 4 complete, and that is Stefano Giovanni's mother, by the way, who is suffering from ALS and was one of the recipients of the honor to throw out the first pitch. So she looks very healthy over there. Hopefully she will fight a successful battle against that disease. But after 4 complete here, our score 2-0. And her son, Stefano Giovanelli, takes the mound for the top of the 5th. So now we're over halfway through this game, and it's been a fast-moving game because of the lack of hits by the Hawks. So far, they have 0 hits through 4 complete, and they've got 5, 6, and 7 left to get Giovanelli, which is basically their entire lineup. So exciting pitching performance going on here by Stefano Giovanelli as he finishes his warm-up tosses, and now coming up for Chaska. And this game is getting really exciting. It's only 2-0. You got to remember they have the same amount of losses. They're basically tied for 2nd in the Metro West. Chaska is a very good team. They're still well within reach of this game as they take their at-bats in the top of the 5th, and stepping into bat for the Hawks is number 7, Drew Benson. So number 4, 5, and 6 hitters here for the Hawks, trying to get a dent in the Orioles defense. And now swung on and missed for strike 1. That first pitch was a ball by Giovanelli, but that curveball fools Drew Benson. So 1-1 the count with nobody out in the top of the 5th. Swung on and missed, and that ball was well hit, and Ben Farley can't catch up with it. So a base hit ruins the no-hitter that Stefano Giovanelli had through 4. And that ball was hit sharply. So the Hawks off to their best start in the hitting column in the top of the 5th with their leadoff hitter, the number 4 hitter, Drew Benson. So now they've had a chance to look at Giovanelli, and this is when they get a little bit better after you've seen a couple pitches. And certainly Drew Benson, the number 4 hitter, was able to capitalize on that prior experience at bat. And now stepping in to bat is the number 5 hitter, their starting pitcher, the Hawks that is, Maddox Foss, as he looks at strike 1 with 1 on and nobody out in the top of the 5th. And a curveball misses just outside and maybe a tad high. So 1-1 the count from Giovanelli. Benson takes a healthy lead at first. There you can see it right there. Giovanelli being a left-handed hitter, fields that, gets it over to first base, and unable to come up with it. And that ball is fair. That's going to allow the base runner to advance all the way to 3rd on the air, and that might be the throw from Giovanelli. Surprising, although he did have to rush it. And now the Hawks are in business here in the top of the 5th with nobody out and runners at 1st and 3rd. Here's the replay as he bounces it right in front of home plate. Giovanelli comes up with it, and it just sailed on him. Hokanson, I think, could have still had it, but didn't quite have the concentration on it either. But that is an error on the Orioles, and they may give the run they gained on a Hawk error right back. They're leading 2-0, but nobody out, and now up to bat the number 6 hitter, number 20, Henry Boucher, the shortstop, with a chance to do some damage in the top of the 5th. Giovanelli from the stretch, curveball at the letters, strike call. Good call, I thought, by the umpire. So now 2 strikes to Boucher. Infield at double play depth for the Orioles. Pitch on away, swung on. Fly ball to deep center, getting back, and underneath it is Reginti, but that's going to allow the base runner on 3rd to tag Drew Benson, And the Hawks have their first run, and they are now just down one at 2-1 with one out in the top of the fifth.
Magnuson.
So a nice job there by Drew Benson, number 7, as he advanced after a sharply base hit. And then he advanced on the throwing air from Giovanelli, and then on that sacrifice fly ball to center field scores for run number 1 for the Hawks, as we now look at number 5, the number 7 hitter, Matthew Magnuson, the third baseman, takes strike 1 with 1 out. So the Orioles can get out of the inning with a double play ball, and the shortstop and second baseman are in double play depth here. And quickly Giovanelli 0-2 the count, and there's the steal. The throw to second is not in time, and so second base is stolen by Maddox Foss, the pitcher, so he's doing it all. And now he's gonna give it up for a pinch runner, number 10. Riley Killian will come in to pinch run for Maddox Foss. We'll see if he then regains the mound in the bottom of the fifth. So he gains first base, steals second, and then he'll come out. So the table is set for the Hawks to tie it up here with a base hit possibly, as the swung on and missed by Ekstrom.
Riley Killian.
So the count 0-1 to number 14. It says 13, but my program says 14, but it's the catcher, Nick Ekstrom. The righty against the lefty, and that is behind him against the backstop, and that's gonna allow the pinch base runner, Riley Killian, to take third. And this is looking like a carbon copy of how the Orioles got their 2 runs, almost exactly. As now their pinch runner's found his way on third, but still 2 outs. And that pitch misses low and outside the curveball. So 2-1 the count, 2 outs, top of the first, 1 run already across. 2-1 our score, and that curveball is fouled up high and straight back out of play. So our count now at 2-2 with 2 outs. Stefano Giovanelli trying to get out of a jam here in the top of the first to maintain their 1-run lead. From the stretch, the 2-2 delivery swung on, and he just catches a piece of it, and it was caught for a caught third strike. So Giovanelli comes up big. He strands 1 on third base and maintains that narrow 2-1 run lead. So after 4.5 innings of play, our score 2-1. And up to bat in the bottom of the fifth will be the Orioles. And it looks like Ben Farley will be leading it off. So the number 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Hawks are due up in their bottom of the fifth as they cling to a 1-run lead, 2-1. Orioles have 4 hits to support that 1 run. Meanwhile, the Hawks just have 1 hit on 1 error, and both runs, or at least 1 for St. Louis Park and 1 run for Chaska, were unearned. In a tight matchup against 2 Metro West rivals who are tied basically in the conference. And Maddox Foss, who gained first base, stole second, gave it up to a pinch runner, is back out to take the mound in the fifth. He's their starter. He's gone the whole way, giving up 1 earned run as he completes his warm-ups. No, he's still going to keep going. Here's the catcher, who is just up to bat. Puts on his catching gear, and he'll come out and take a couple pitches. But I can't imagine that Maddox Foss is going to need too many. Nope, he only needed that 1. And so due up for the Orioles.
Now batting for St. Louis Park in the bottom of the fifth, left fielder Jacob Faber.
So Jacob Faber, the number 8 hitter. So number 8, 9 in the top of the order are due up for the Orioles in their half of the 5th inning, clinging to a run lead, and that is Jacob Faber, the left-hander, or the left fielder right-handed hitter. In the bottom of the 5th as he looks at ball 1. A little high. And now Maddox Foss waves off the sign, the delivery. Not as high as pitch number 1, but just misses again. So 2-0 in the count to the number 8 hitter, Jacob Favor, the left fielder. Pitch on away curveball, that also misses. So Foss struggling with control here, 3-0, and you gotta expect that Favor's gonna be taking all the way here. And he does, and Foss knew it as he delivers and right down the middle strike. So now 3-1 the count, and this is anybody's guess here. Pitch on away, and Favor lays off of it, and he earns a walk to lead off the bottom of the 5th. So the Orioles got a base runner, and that's going to bring up the designated hitter, number 2, Thomas Moot, for St. Louis Park. Orioles won just the other night against Bloomington Jefferson. And now the lefty to go against the righty Foss as he takes strike 1. So this time, Foss wastes no time getting ahead in the count. So nobody out in the bottom of the 5th, runner on first. No balls, 1 strike the count. And the DH swings on and just gets a piece of it for strike number 2. So quickly in the hole is the number 9 hitter, Thomas Moot, the DH. As he looks down for the sign. Doesn't appear to be any type of stealing threat here for Jacob Favor on first base, but now the 0-2 count. Now Moss, the delivery from the stretch, misses outside. So good patience on display by number 2, Thomas Moot. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. And the delivery swung on and missed as Maddox Foss gets him with the high heat for strikeout. And out number 1 in the bottom of the 5th. And now at the top of the order, Stanley Reginti with 1 out and a runner on. He'll be followed by the number 2 hitter, Ben Farley, the shortstop. Unless he hits into a double play somehow. And the curveball, pitch on away, misses for ball number 1 to Stanley Reginti. He's been on base twice and his 2 previous at-bats, scoring run number 1. He reached on an error in the bottom of the 1st, and now the pickoff move towards first by the catcher, Nick Ekstrom. Not in time as he tried to get Jacob Favor leaning, and there's the replay. Great camera angle. And of course, Favor back there in plenty of time, but not before having to dive, though, to get back safely. The 1-1 delivery, curveball swung on, and Reginti couldn't quite catch up with that one. He was looking to turn on that curveball, but a nice pitch by Maddox Foss, the pitcher for Chaska. Now the 1-2 delivery, another curveball swung on. And that's a pop fly to short right field, and back to field it easily is the second baseman for the Hawks, Adam Hansen, to record out number 2. So now stepping in the bat, the number 2 hitter, the left-handed hitter, shortstop, Ben Farley, has played very well in the field, also at the plate. He'll step in with a runner on first, but 2 out now. As Foss, the pitcher for Chaska, checks the runner. Now hit on and over to Hansen at second base. He moves to his left, easily scoops it up and gets it over to the first baseman, Drew Benson, to record out number 3. But not before the Orioles reach with a base runner, but they strand him. So after 5 complete here from Derek Keller Field, our score 2-1, and we'll go to the top of the 6th. Glad you're with us here on ParkTV 16 Sports. It's a really good baseball game, a pitcher's duel between Maddox Foss and Stefano Giovanelli, and he is making his way out to take the mound in the top of the 6th. He hasn't thrown that many pitchers, so both teams going the distance in this pitcher's duel. And I love baseball games like this. Really smartly played by both teams, and these are 2 really good baseball teams, which even makes this game even more enjoyable. So if you're watching along with us on ParkTV 16 Sports, so glad you're with us as Giovanelli begins his warm-up pitches, and due up for the Hawks here in the top of the 6th. And now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. Both teams have 6 outs to try to figure this one out here. And due up, number 22, the number 9 hitter will be Thomas Hansen, the center fielder, and then he'll be followed by the top of the order, Carver Miller and Nolan Kemp. So Hansen, Miller, and Kemp, the number 9, 1, and 2 hitter to face Stefano Giovanelli. They got to him in their last half inning. We'll see if they can build any momentum off of that to try to tie it up as they find themselves down 2-1 in the top of the 6th. And the first pitch, bunt attempt by the number 9 hitter, the center fielder, bunts foul. So the left-handed hitter, they sometimes have an advantage to do a drag bunt for a base hit because they are obviously a step or two closer from that left-handed hitter's position, but he gets a strike, and now working the outside corner of the plate was Giovanelli. That misses for ball 1, so 1-1 the count here to number 22, Thomas Hansen, and he lays off that pitch, so 2-1 the count now for Giovanelli. Top of the 6th, nobody out. Temperatures still remain calm. No wind at all out here. Couldn't be more perfect. And now 3-1 as Giovanelli misses on that last pitch, and he's finding himself behind the count more than he was earlier in the match. But now he claws back into the count, gets a fouled pitch for strike number 2, and the count is full to the leadoff hitter here in the top of the 6th. And the curveball gets Hansen reaching for that, and a brilliant pitching performance for out number 1 for Stefano Giovanelli. And a nice start after giving up a run in the last inning to the Hawks. And now the top of the order, that's Carver Miller, number 4, the left fielder for the Hawks. Lefty versus lefty with 1 out. And that pitch swung on for strike 1 for Giovanelli. 0-1 the count to number 4, Carver Miller. Carver's spelled with a K, by the way. First time I've ever seen anybody name that. Back up, and Giovanelli stabs it. Great athleticism on display by Giovanelli as he rushes it over about halfway before the easy toss for out number 2. And watch this great athletic move with the comebacker right back to the pitcher by right there. And look at him just twist back, come up with it. And that was his second opportunity. Last time he had to field an infield hit. He threw it wayward to first baseman, but this time no problem. Now on that first pitch in foul territory, actually back in fair territory, Giovanelli gets the 3rd out on 1 pitch as Hawkinson hauls that in for out number 3. So the Hawks, after getting 1 run in the top of the 5th, go 1, 2, 3 in their half of the 6th. And we go to the bottom of the 6th with the Orioles clinging to a 2-run lead on 4 hits versus 1. 1 error apiece. And a chance here to cushion their lead before we go to the top of the 7th, as the Hawks have just 3 more outs to get back in this one. And I look back out at the mound, and coming back out to pitch the bottom of the 6th is the starting pitcher, Maddox Foss, and he's pitched very well himself, only giving up 4 hits. And that unearned run has really cost them. That is the difference in the ball game here. 2-1, our score. And as I was saying before, I love baseball games like this. I was watching the Twins the other night. They won a 2-1 game against the Orioles. They are off to a great start in the American League Central, and so are these Orioles. They're 5-2, looking for their 6th win to stay on the upper echelon of the Metro West standings. Okay, now up for the Orioles, the number 3, 4, and 5 hitter here in the bottom of the 6th, the heart of the order, the meat of the order, some people would say, a chance to get some insurance runs before they try to close it out in the 7th. All right, the pitch on away from Maddox Foss, misses high and maybe a tad outside to the number 3 hitter, the first baseman, Christopher Hokinson. And that pitch is a curveball. He gets Hokinson to miss on that. Nice pitch by Maddox Foss. We're seeing great pitching performances here. And that pitch high and outside. Really a pleasure to watch both these pitchers. Very smart players. The 2-1 delivery swung on over to the right side. The second baseman moves over. That is Adam Hansen, and he gets the put out to record out number 1. So Adam Hansen, he's not batting tonight for the Hawks. He's being DH'd for, but he's played very well as we look at the replay. The ball was hit sharply as Adam Hansen had to move slightly to his left, but just a couple of steps, and he got up and got the ball over there very well. So nice play by the infield for Hawks. Records out number 1. Now up to bat is the number 4 hitter, Zach Helfman, the right-handed hitter. Looks at ball number 1 with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Maddox Foss with the quick delivery, curveball, strike at the knees. Evens the count, 1 apiece with 1 out. Helfman looks at ball, swings at the curveball there. Nice pitch by Maddox Foss, as he is very in control out there, looking very comfortable now with a 1-2 count. Masterful pitching performance. That's in the dirt, gets to the backstop, but no harm, no runners on base to take advantage. And now the count is even at 2-2. Still 1 out here, bottom of the 6th. Orioles trying to add to their lead. Late here, and now the strike, called strike curveball by Maddox Foss. And Maddox Foss has improved as this game has gone on, in my estimation, in my view. What a pitch that was to record out number 2. So nobody on, and the number 5 hitter, Graham Sullivan, will step in, the right-hander, and a quick, hard fastball finds the strike zone. About belt high on the outside of the plate for strike number 1, and Maddox Foss is just cruising here, and now high fastball, tried to get Graham Sullivan to chase. 1-1 the count now with 2 outs. Pitch on away, curveball finds the strike zone, and boy, Maddox Foss, I am not kidding, he is really getting better here as the game moves on in these later innings. Now the 1-2 delivery, oh, just misses. Looked like the umpire was thinking about it. Count even now to Graham Sullivan. Pitch on away, curveball, and he gets him looking, and what a masterful pitch that was by Maddox. I don't know if we can get that on replay, Paul, but boy, did he pitch a well played inning there for the bottom of the 6th as he gets the Orioles 1-2-3. And now we'll go to the top of the 7th, and Giovanelli's coming out to complete it here. He's got a 1-hitter going here, folks, clinging to a 2-1 lead. And they're 3 outs from victory to go 6-2 with an important victory over the Chaska Hawks in the Metro West Conference. There's that beautiful looking scoreboard. Just 1 blemish there with that 1 hit and 1 run in the 5th. But that's as close to a perfect game as you will see in most high school matches. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous look there. And the fans are going to be huddling close now as the game is on the line here for both teams. And the Hawks, they're going to have a chance to try to tie it up and extend this match, or possibly take the lead and force the Orioles to come back in their half of the 7th. All right, here we go. Giovanelli finished with his warm-up tosses, and now stepping into bat for the Hawks. Number 9, Dane McNaughton. So numbers 3, 4, and 5 for the Hawks. You wouldn't want to have it any other way. The meat of their order against Stefano Giovanelli, top of the 7th, 2-1 lead from the windup. Lefty to righty, good matchup, and a quick curveball down low gets McNaughton to chase. So Giovanelli gets out in front here. 0-1 the count to McNaughton. Tries with that same pitch, doesn't get him the chase this time, so 1-1 the count. Outfield straight away, maybe the center fielder shaded a little bit to left field. Another ball in the dirt by Giovanelli. Gives the advantage to Dane McNaughton. 2-1 the count. Orioles trying to close this out. Game just an hour and 20 minutes old, and that's what happens in pitching matchups. Not a lot of hitting. These games move fast, very efficient. Now 3-1 the count to McNaughton. A hitter's pitch to the number 3 hitter. Will he be swinging away? Let's see. As Giovanelli brings that pitch in there. So now 3-2 count, the payoff delivery with nobody out in the top of the 7th. Swung on right back up, and Ben Farley can't catch up with it. So a nice at-bat for the number 3 hitter, Dane McNaughton, and the Hawks are in business in the top of the 7th with the tying run on first base. And that will bring up the number 4 hitter, Drew Benson, the first baseman, number 7, as we look at that replay. That was sharply hit as he ran the string out to a 3-2 count. So a brilliant at-bat by the number 3 hitter, the DH for the Chaska Hawks. And now with a runner on first, nobody out, top of the 7th. The first pitch to the number 4 hitter, Drew Benson. Curveball high and outside, ball number 1 to Drew Benson. Modest lead at first base. There it is. You can see it in your camera view. Pitch on away. That should be a strike, at least from my vantage points, and it was, as he drops that curveball in for a 1-1 count to Drew Benson. And you can feel the tension here if you're really paying attention. This is big-time baseball drama, as now Giovanelli checks the runner at first. Obviously very concerned as he's the tying run. The 1-1 delivery from the stretch by Giovanelli, swung on, and that's going to be into short right field, and the second baseman can't come up with it. It's going to drop for a base hit. The force out attempt at second is not in time. And so Drew Benson fights off that inside pitch to short right field, and it drops in, a seeing eye blooper, I would call it. Here's the replay. You can judge for yourself. It just gets enough of it. It's reminiscent of the Hawks getting a base hit that did some damage. So now in the top of the 7th, there are troubles in St. Louis Park as they now have runners on first and second, nobody out, and both teams taking a timeout as the head coach for the Orioles comes out to talk over strategy here. So the tying run is now on second base. The go-ahead run is on first base. The number 5 hitter, the pitcher, Maddox Foss, who's pitched brilliantly himself, only giving up 4 hits and 1 error and only 2 runs, is gonna come in with a runner in scoring position, and you've gotta think he can sense the moment. Maddox Foss against Giovanelli, pitcher on pitcher with the game on the line, the top of the 7th, down 1. Giovanelli throws it high and outside, and it looked like Maddox Foss was leaning in to potentially bunt there, but he looks at ball 1. So 1-0 the count, nobody out, runners on first and second. There's our score, 2-1 in the top of the 7th from Derek Kellerfield. The pitch on away, and the bunt to advance him, and Giovanelli goes to third, and he gets the force out. So the bunt does not work at all. You got too much on it, and Giovanelli makes a spot-on play to get the lead runner out at third for out number 1, and that is huge for Giovanelli and the Orioles. And look at that play, well in time to get the force out. And having played lots of baseball in my career, getting that first out in a tight game really takes the tension off for the Orioles. But they're still in trouble here with runners on first and second. But now one pitch and a double play could end this game, just like that. All right, Giovanelli from the stretch with work to do. The 1-0 count, the 0-1 count. Misses outside, ball one. So 1-1 the count. Stepping into bat is number 20, the number 6 hitter, Henry Boucher, the shortstop. And they're going on the pitch, and the throw to third base is not going to be in time. So the double steal was on. And both runners advance on the stolen base attempt to third base. So now runners in second and third in scoring position with 1 out, and that eliminates the double play infield ball for the Orioles. So you wonder if they're not going to put this player on and walk him intentionally to get the force. All right, we're clarifying what the count is. Both coaches were inquiring, and no, although the scoreboard says 2-1, I thought the umpire signaled 2-2. All right, the delivery, strike call. So it was 2-1. So now the count is even. 2-2, 1 out to number 20, the number 6 hitter, with runners on second and third for the Hawks. Pitch outside, and the count grows to full. 3-2, 1 out. Runners on second and third. The game hanging in the balance in the top of the 7th. Curveball swung on and hit well to left field. And that ball could be down against the wall. And it's going to score 2 for sure as the Hawks come up big in the top of the 7th. And that's going to be a stand-up double for number 20, Henry Boucher, at a very clutch time in the top of the 7th. And that brings a huge roar of approval from the fans that have traveled from Chaska, sitting along the third base line. As we look at the delivery by Giovanelli, and that ball was hit well into the gap. One bouncer against the wall at the 340 mark in left center field. And now the Hawks, who trailed all game long, came into the top of the 7th with only 1 hit, have now ticked off 3 more hits. They've scored 2. And they lead 3-2 in the top of the 7th. And now stepping into bat, number 1, the top of the order, the left fielder, Carver Miller, with a runner on second and a chance to do more damage in the top of the 7th with still only 1 out. Now the delivery from Giovanelli, and that ball just eludes Ben Farley at shortstop, and that'll score another run. And what a rally. Here comes the throw home, and he could be out, and they called him safe. The throw was there in time, and I would dispute that call. That was very close. Let's see the replay and whether our camera can catch it. Here comes the runner around third, and a nice throw from the outfield. Look at the pace on it. And we just missed that, unfortunately, just after the mark there. The ball, I will say, was a little high, and that probably is what led the umpire to call him safe. So now the score is 4-2 with 3 runs across in the top of the 7th, still only 1 out, and now up to bat is number 13, Nick Ekstrom, the number 8 hitter and the catcher. And there is a runner on second on that throw to home that allowed the runner to get to second, and now with that ball going in the dirt allowed the base runner on second to take third, and now only 1 out. And now a fly ball, a sacrifice fly ball, will add to the Hawks' lead. And so what a come from behind rally here in the top of the 7th by the Chaska Hawks. And now Giovanelli gets a strike call, and I thought that was a little bit low. And the umpire gave him that one here. So 1-2 the count with 1 out, a runner on third for the Hawks. They've got 3 across, and now the curveball gets the number 8 hitter Nick Ekstrom to swing and miss for out number 2 on that strikeout, and much needed by Giovanelli. But they still got troubles with 2 outs because there's a runner on scoring position on third base, and now stepping into bat is number 22, the number 9 hitter, and he delivers a base hit, and a clutch base hit that is, in the top of the 7th to bat in run number 4 for the Hawks, and now they have a commanding 5-2 lead.
Left
They are
fielder
getting to
Carver
Giovanelli
Miller.
here late in this match to put up 4 on 4 hits in the top of the 7th. And now stepping in the bat, the top of the order, Carver Miller, number 4, the left fielder, and now the stolen base attempt. Throw not in time. And you've got to feel the momentum and the enthusiasm in the Orioles is waning here. They're going to need a heck of a rally in the bottom of the 7th to get back in this one, as the Hawks have kind of broken it open here in the top of the 7th, and that ball swung on and just foul on the left third base line. Foul for strike number 2, 0-2 the count, 2 outs. Runner on second in scoring position. Pitch on a way, and that gets behind and in the backstop, and he's going to take third on that. So really kind of the nicest way possible, kind of falling apart here for the Orioles in the top of the 7th. Now the runner's on third with 2 outs. They've got 4 across. And Giovanelli looking to get out of this inning and get up to bat here to try to rally themselves in the bottom of the 7th. They're going to find themselves down 3, possibly 4 runs, when they came into this with a 2-run lead in the top of the 7th. The 1-2 delivery just misses high. Giovanelli trying to drop that curveball and get out of this inning. All right, the 2-2 delivery with a runner on third. The lefty to the righty swung on, and that ball fouled off to the right side. Count remains at 2-2. And the good fortunes for the visiting Chaska Hawks has considerably quieted down the atmosphere here, which was much more festive early on, as that ball is fouled back and to the left by Carver Miller. And Carver is spelled K-A-R-V-E-R with a K. I like it. Carver Miller now with a 2-2 count with 2 outs. The delivery by Giovanelli hit sharply to Hokinson, who easily scoops it up to record out number 3, but not before the Hawks rally with 4 hits. 5 hits in the top of the 7th leads to 4 runs, and they have now taken the lead at 5-2, and we're going to go to the bottom of the 7th. This is last ups for the Orioles. They led the whole way on a 1-hitter, but now find themselves down by 3 runs, as they will come up for their bottom of the 7th, and expected up for the Orioles are the number 7, 8, and 9 hitters. Henry Odens, the second baseman, followed by Jacob Favor, the left fielder, and the DH Thomas Moot. As you can see the shadows with the sun setting, and that's a great looking view with the beautiful sunset behind, the haze, the dusk, I guess you'd call it. And some of St. Louis Park's youngest enjoying the night on the top of that beautiful, huge bike ramp. I think there's a set of railroad tracks that goes across, and then you can catch on to the trails and the bike trails and the hiking trails all throughout the lakes area of St. Louis Park and Minneapolis. And there is a full parking lot. I probably had to walk a half-mile to get here, I figured. There's other softball fields, and just look at all the people out on really what I would have to say is probably the nicest weather day of the year, going back to January 1 of 2022. And everybody is out enjoying it, from the top of the ramp to the sidelines on the St. Louis Park side. Okay, we're about to begin, and now we do have a new pitcher for the Hawks as I look up. So Maddox Foss pitched brilliantly, giving up 4 hits through 6 full innings. And now his team has given him the lead. And now coming in to pitch is what was formerly the center fielder, Thomas Hanson, the left. He will come in to close it out. And up for the St. Louis Park Orioles is number 8, Brady Walsh. So the 6, 7, and 8 hitters, Brady Walsh, the third baseman, followed by Henry Odens, the second baseman, and Jacob Favor to try to save it. And now there's a bunt attempt right back to Hansen. He scoops it and gets it over to first baseman just in time as he tried to beat the speedy Brady Walsh.
Henry Odens.
And much like the bunt attempt by Chaska in the top of the 7th, it came back to the pitcher way too fast, and that allowed him to scoop it up and get it over to the first baseman in time to record out number 1 in the bottom of the 7th. And that will bring up number 1, the number 7 hitter, the second baseman, Henry Odens, as he looks at strike 1. So lefty on lefty. In relief, Hansen. And he delivers that pitch, and that's swung on, and that could get down just inside the line, and it is a fair ball for number 1, Henry Odens, in the bottom of the 7th, and he leads it off with a 1-out hit. Brilliant piece of hitting just on the line there, as the left fielder was playing off of it, as he should, to the left-handed hitting Odin. That's going to bring up number 11, Jacob Favor, the number 8 hitter. So a chance here for the Orioles with a runner on. Down 3. They're going to need more base runners, but base hit after base hit, and now that ball gets back to the backstop, and that's going to be a pass ball. So both teams struggling with pitcher control, allowing base runners to advance, and this time the Orioles take advantage as Henry Odens moves to second base on the pass ball. The count is 1-0 to Jacob Favor with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. That'll eliminate the double play possibility. And now a fastball by Hansen as he brings the heat, and that also brings a swing and a miss from Jacob Favor, that guy right there, number 11. So he'll face a 1-1 count from the stretch. Hansen, the delivery, fastball outside. He definitely has a very high velocity fastball. The question is, can he find the locations? If I'm the Orioles, you want to make him work for it just a little bit here. Now the 2-1 delivery with 1 out and a runner on first. Strike call. So just as I talked about his control, he delivers a nice controlled fastball strike to even the count at 2-2. You can hear a pin drop here at Derek Keller Field. Is that pitch low, protecting the plate wisely, Jacob Favor. Fouls that back and to the right. Count remains 2-2 with 1 out. So with 2 strikes, you really want to be protecting the plate. So anything close, you can expect Jacob Favor will be swinging. Pitch on away, and he decided way too late, and now that's a strikeout recorded for Hansen. And that means 2 outs for the Orioles, and that's going to bring up the number 6 hitter. Or no, that's number 6 coming off the bench to pinch hit. His name is Zach Johnson. So he'll come in for the number 9 hitter with 2 outs and a runner on first. As the Orioles are now down to their last out after leading the entire game until the top of the 7th when they gave up a 4 spot to the Hawks. The 1-0 delivery from Hansen, low in the dirt. So Thomas Hansen in relief for Maddox Foss, who was the starter. And 2 balls, no strikes the count. Swung on and missed by Zach Johnson. He looks like a big, strong hitter up there, definitely capable of hitting it out if he can get a hold of it. But now the 2-1 delivery with 2 outs and a runner on second. And he swings at a ball way outside the strike zone. And that evens the count for Adam Hansen, or Thomas Hansen on the mound. The 2-2 delivery with 2 outs. Swung on and missed, and he gets the strikeout to record out number 3 in the bottom of the 7th. And that will end it. What a baseball game this was. It was a pitcher's duel through 6 complete until the Hawks blew it open with 4 in the top of the 7th. And there is our final score. So from Derek Kellerfield and for Paul Broden, our producer, and everyone connected with our production here at ParkTV 16 Sports, my name is Robert Christensen. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again.